It was the most important student protest since the Soweto uprisings of 1976. But instead of protesting against the unjust system of apartheid and an oppressive medium of instruction, students marched against the steep cost of higher education. The protest spread like wildfire across the country and put government in a tight corner until it was announced that there would be no tuition fee increases for the 2016 academic year. The campaign was not without its challenges, as efforts by political parties, including the ANC and EFF, to muscle in on the students' concerns caused the initially united activists to fracture into factions. Violence, which caused millions of rands of damage to infrastructure, also saw diminished public sympathy for the cause. Those who were at the forefront of the movement at the time reflect on this historic moment.
Well, we participated in a struggle under the banner of Fees Must Fall. We led a movement which drew and got its strength from the 1976 generation. We organized ourselves under a banner, called Fees Must Fall, as those who resonated and resonate with, the idea that university ought to be free, university ought to be accessible to all, and that money must not be used, as an instrument to exclude and include certain people.
But was the movement effective in addressing the issues of young varsity students?
And then the Fees Must Fall protest took that on. It did take out issues of governance. It took issues of insourcing poor and vulnerable workers. It took a series of issues. Some of those were legitimate. So I think that the cost of higher education was legitimate. Curriculum reflections and at least a greater deliberation on the curriculum was important. Insourcing was important.
However, the struggle for free education still continues.
So many things in the system that are not yet fixed, that are not yet providing enough support for students to succeed, and that is most certainly still around the implementation of free education, around the accommodation crisis. There are just not enough beds, and they're very, very expensive, even if you are on student funding.
Like the class of 1976, the Fees Must Fall movement has left a lasting legacy that will be remembered by generations to come. Natasha Piri, SABC News, Johannesburg.